There's been a lot of buzz recently around cybersecurity. The details of the SolarWinds hack, the Colonial Pipeline, and JBS Foods ransomware attacks. This prompted an executive order from President Biden in May addressing the government's cybersecurity posture. And then just a few days ago, a memo from Ann Neuberger, the National Security Council's top cyber official, where she urges all companies to immediately convene their leadership teams to assess their risk exposure. You're probably wondering, what does this mean for you and your small business, and what can you do about it? That's what we'll talk about today in this episode of Talking Tech at the Trailhead. So keep watching. As I laid out there in the intro, there's a lot of activity going on right now, with cyber attacks getting front and center attention in much of the news. And this isn't just here in the US. We've seen recent high-profile ransomware attacks in Ireland, Germany, and other places around the world. I recommend paying attention to the urgency of the President's executive order and this memo from the White House. This is a pretty rare open letter companies from the government. They're seeing an increase in frequency of attacks and a shift from data theft to disrupting services. Notice in this quote from the memo the concern for all companies regardless of size or location. So how do you respond to all this? We could run through a list of cybersecurity controls like MFA, endpoint protection, encryption, and zero trust, but we don't have time in this short video to go into depth on all the different cybersecurity controls. What I want to stress today is that you should review your entire cybersecurity plan. If you don't have a plan, use this as a reason to start one. Your plan needs to be holistic in its approach, touching all aspects of your organization. These aren't just pieces of software that we install or devices like firewalls. Your plan has to address the human behavior as well. All the processes in your organization need to be evaluated from a security standpoint. And you need to continually test and verify that the controls that you have put in place are still working and effectively protecting you today and tomorrow. This can't just be a one-time checklist that you put in a drawer and don't return to it until you have an audit or a breach. You need to know that a critical control wasn't turned off or disabled because of an urgent request and then never turned back on. Check it and have proof that you're still protected. The good thing is that there are already some great frameworks that can guide you as you create your plan. Some business sectors already have regulatory standards that they need to comply with, like HIPAA or GDPR or CMMC. But if you're not in one of these sectors, I urge you to adopt the NIST cybersecurity framework. This came out of another executive order back in 2013. Basically, this was developed as a set of best practices for cybersecurity that any organization should follow to protect themselves. I like to think of it as a Swiss Army knife of cybersecurity. All of these different compliance standards share the same basic controls when you boil them all down. And following the NIST CSF framework ensures that any business that they have an efficient, all-encompassing posture for their cybersecurity. The framework also continues to evolve and change as threats change. So if you take this recent directive from the White House seriously, or if you're like many business owners and these threats have kept you up at night for years, take an assessment of your current cybersecurity posture and see how it stacks up against a framework like NIST CSF. Find the shortfalls and then make a plan to address them. This is going to be an ongoing journey, but with a framework like that to go by, you have a roadmap to a holistic, multi-layered cyber defense, and not just a random set of security controls that were put together without a cohesive plan. At Trailhead, we can help you get started with this process. We'll take an assessment of your current state and give you an easy-to-follow action plan for improvement. If you have concerns about the effectiveness of your organization's cybersecurity, I'd love to talk with you about it. Contact information will be down below in the comment section and at the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more helpful videos. And we'll see you on the next episode of Talking Tech at the Trailhead.